What's up? What's up? Welcome in to the Why My Mets Fan podcast. That's Ashley Wenskoski. I'm Samantha Croston, and we are joining you guys after Toronto tied up the series in Game 4. This is all of a sudden a 2-2 series after the Toronto Blue Jays just won against the Dodgers 6-2 in Los Angeles. Hi, Ashley. How are we doing?
Oh, we're all tied up, folks. We are back to square one. I heard Big Poppy and A-Rod and Derek Jeter say it a million times just now on the post game, and they're right. We're back to a best of three, right? Best of
Yep.
three. The Blue Jays get back in it. They tie it up tonight. Obviously, what that means for Blue Jays fans is we're headed back to Toronto. Either way, no matter what happens tomorrow night, there will be at least a game six in Toronto. So happy for those great people over at Rogers Center. I mean, you were seeing the cutaway shots on the broadcast. That place had 40,000 Toronto fans in it that were so happy to see this result tonight. My first thing is, Dodgers fans aren't going to be so happy with me tonight because I'm going to start off and say that we need to give some major credit where credit is due tonight to the Toronto Blue Jays. Just think about for one moment, just conceptualize what it felt like to be the Toronto Blue Jays today walking into Dodger Stadium, okay? They get their soul sucked out of them in 18 innings, right? The night before in game three. They lose that game. That's obviously like one of the most pivotal games of the series. It's also just an 18 inning, 6 hour plus battle. You lose one of your stars. You're in LA against the Dodgers. And then you have the luxury of going out there tonight and facing Shohei Ohtani on the mound, and they found a way to win the game. I mean,
Well,
that just speaks for itself.
I think that's what it is, right? You talk about a game like this, you're talking about heart. You're talking about a team that has, I believe, come back more than any other team in baseball this year.
Yep.
Um, if the Toronto Blue Jays win the World Series, it was truly for no other reason than they wanted it more. I mean, there were so many things going against them, and this entire time we have, and I think we'll continue to say that we feel that Dodgers are the favorite. I think that was the general consensus among anyone who watched baseball. But you have to admit that something interesting continues to happen here. I don't feel like anyone has hung with the Dodgers like this in the playoffs since we probably started this podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, these are the two best teams left. I mean, you wanted a great World Series. You got it. We said that last night. The whole like David versus Goliath comparison. Look, do I
Mm.
think the Dodgers are a better team? Yes. Do I still think the Dodgers are going to win this World Series? Also, yes. At the same time, the resiliency, the grit that the Blue Jays are showing, I'm not sure any other team would have shown the Dodgers. And I think you have to give a lot of credit there. I mean, Shane Bieber tonight, we can get into it. He wasn't perfect, but he gave them a really good chance to win this game. He looked like vintage Shane Bieber. This was the performance that they needed, right? This was his first career start in the World Series, and he went out there and he gave the Blue Jays 5 1/3 innings after the marathon that last night was, and he gave them a chance to win this game.
Shane Bieber, final line, 5.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. On the other side, Ohtani, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And we'll talk about that in a second. But I agree with you as far as Toronto gave them a good enough chance to win, and of course they did. This was a game, um, like many other games we've seen, especially in the playoffs, where the Dodgers took the lead first. It was a 1-0 game in the bottom of the second. Then, top of the third, and I think you realize a point that we've been making frequently since the World Series began. VLADDY Daddy hits a 2-run home run. This has been a battle of the stars. Really, I feel like not even just in this series, but perhaps in a few other playoff series as well. Um, and I have to say that Vlad, possibly more than any other star besides Shohei Ohtani, like has really, really shown up and shown out, you know? Cal Raleigh was sort of the same way, but like Aaron Judge, no, I understand he had that one home run. It's not like this. I mean, this is like game in and game out. He is giving them chances to stay in games and win them.
Yeah, Vlad has shown up in the big moments. Obviously, I think you've seen. Not that he wasn't there before, but this is like his growing up, his rising to the big moments really on the biggest stage nationally. I mean, when he hit that home run, like the Blue Jays needed that injection of life tonight in the bottom of the third so badly, right? You come out again, 18 innings, you lose last night. Everybody's so tired. Hadn't had that big hit in a few games here. They needed that, and he was the spark that gave that. Not to even mention, it was off of obviously Shohei Ohtani. So what Vlad did there, I'm not going to say that, the Blue Jays wouldn't have won this game if that wouldn't happen, but I don't think you can understate him rising to meet that moment.
No doubt about it. Um, Additionally, you get all right, so the score is 2-1, right? It's the top of the third. Already in that moment, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because you put it in my head. Before Ashley left work tonight, I'm in our office, Ashley's home. She said that she felt like the Blue Jays were going to win this game, so maybe I had that rolling.
Yep.
But when I saw that the score was 2-1 in the top of the third, knowing that there was a lot of baseball left to play, I felt like it was going to be hard for the Dodgers to claw back, and I'm not sure why. In any case, I don't know if that Vlad home run is what was the catalyst for this or not. You'd have to think it's a part of it. But in the top of the seventh, it really, really just goes downhill. Ohtani is in pitching, and it's really just single, single, single. All of a sudden, it's 6-1. You kind of knew that it was going to take, not to say Dodgers haven't had miracles before, but it was going to take kind of a miracle at that point to come back. That's a big hole.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let's discuss the Blue Jays knocking Ohtani out of the game. So, first of all, before I do that, let's actually give some credit to Shohei Ohtani. I gave my credit to Shane Bieber, right? Good performance tonight, gave the Blue Jays a good chance to win, struck out Ohtani at the plate twice, I should mention. Ohtani himself coming out of that 18 inning marathon last night where he got on base 9 times. I saw everyone, I did say 8 last night. That was my bad. It was 3 in the morning. 9 times, a record that will probably never be broken. After all of that last night, Shohei Ohtani gets up there. He takes the mound tonight. I mean, he didn't look tired. He didn't look like he was coming off of the effects of playing 18 innings last night as a guy in that lineup. He looked ready to go, ready to rise to the moment, and he pretty much made one big mistake, which was obviously the home run pitch, the breaking ball to Vlad. Now, top of the seventh, he started to lose it a little bit. I think you started to see him get tired. Varsho singled. Ernie Clement comes in, doubles off the wall, and that knocks Ohtani out of the game. Shout out Ernie Clement, Rochester, New York native, knocking Shohei Ohtani out of a World Series game. Very cool moment. But Ohtani looked great nonetheless. I don't believe he got any hits tonight at the plate, but again, just the grit that it took for him to come out there and to do that tonight is so insane. I heard the broadcast say, Smoltz and Davis were talking about for a minute how Babe Ruth, you often get that comparison with Shohei Ohtani. Babe Ruth was a two-way player for 2 years. They said it was 1918 and 1919, and then he decided to just focus on hitting. So everybody always does the Babe Ruth comparison. This is already Shohei Ohtani's 5th year as a two-way player, and we're seeing him turn out performances like he did last night at the plate, and then like he did tonight on the mound. It's just so unbelievable, and I know we say it night after night, but to just think that we are the generation that gets to watch Shohei Ohtani play on a baseball diamond is truly incredible sometimes. So, circling back around to the Blue Jays knocking him out of the game in the top of the seventh, credit where credit's due there.
Well, I mean, listen, you have to know that you're witnessing greatness and history on like a nightly basis. That being said, do you feel that Ohtani should have been out of the game sooner?
I mean, if you're Dave Roberts, I don't think he showed you reason to take him out of the game sooner, right? It wasn't like he was particularly working around traffic before that. Like I said, he had pretty much made the one mistake, and it was to Vlad. So, I don't think so. I think it was probably the right choice to take him out when Clement doubled off the wall. You kind of saw he started to lose it there. And then, of course, you bring in the Dodgers bullpen, who then unfortunately did not get Shohei out of being charged with those 2 earned runs that were on the base path at the time, right? Banda comes into the game. He gives up a single to Jimenez to make it 3-1. Trinan, I know he has been an enemy of all of our Dodgers fans throughout this series because he has not been having a great postseason. He gave up a missile to Bichette off of the wall. And from there, it just sort of spiraled. Obviously, the Dodger bullpen has been a topic of discussion. We know what they did last night. We know what Will Klein accomplished. But what can you do, right? Shohei, I guess Shohei kept them in that game, right? Shohei gave them a chance to win. Then it was the bullpen. And obviously, you also can't understate the Dodgers didn't really hit tonight, right? They put up 2 runs. One of them was in garbage time in the ninth. The Dodgers offense, maybe they were a little tired. I don't know.
Right. I mean, listen, it's tough because I think with the Dodgers again, if you are a Dodgers fan and you watch this team on a nightly basis, you're walking away from this game thinking two things. Number one, the bats weren't batting. But number two, you're running into, I'm sure, what feels like a familiar problem, which is that this doesn't strike me as the kind of team where if you're putting in one of the relievers and it's, a high risk, high pressure situation, there are runners in scoring position, it almost feels like it's a guarantee that, one or two runs are going to score. Like you don't really see someone go out there and they're just nails, Like there's no one who you really trust to get out of a jam in a big time moment. Or if there
Except for
are, it's
maybe now Will
limited.
Klein.
Well, right. It's like limited options. So I don't know. I still kind of think in my heart that like the Dodgers probably could have used a few more pieces in that area, but they probably have enough to like eke it out. Like I think over the course of a game 7 series, they'll be able to figure it out. Not to mention a lot of the time, their starting pitching is really, really good. But it is worth mentioning that now, tomorrow, when you're looking at that pitching matchup between Savage and Snell, my God, is that a high pressure situation for both of those men?
Yeah, you're back to the game 1 starters, you Savage, Blake Snell. I'm interested to see how that goes again. Obviously, um, Snell had a good start in game 1, but I'm interested because Savage has also shown the ability to rise to the moment, right? Savage knows this is a pivotal game. If the Blue Jays take a series lead back to Toronto, then all of a sudden you're feeling completely different if you're the Toronto Blue Jays. So really interested in game 5 tomorrow night. I think that an underrated storyline. So now that the Blue Jays have tied this up, right? We're going back to Toronto. This baseball season will end in Toronto one way or another. So either the Dodgers will be celebrating in Toronto or Toronto will be celebrating at home. Um, all of that aside, George Springer, obviously we saw him get injured last night with the swing, possible oblique injury, really didn't look great. He didn't even take another swing after that. Looked like he could have possibly pulled something. Who knows? Obliques are tough like that. But this win tonight, I think, has given him the hope of at least, all right, you miss game 5 tomorrow. You probably should not play in another baseball game this season, but this is the World Series and your team's trying to win and you're one of the stars. So
Hmm.
if he's trying to get back out there, you miss game 5 tomorrow. Then you have the off day Thursday, which is all of a sudden really valuable if you're George Springer. And then maybe you have a hope and a prayer to be back in that lineup for game 6 on Friday night.
Well, totally. I agree. I think that that's maybe one of those sleeper storylines that people shouldn't necessarily be looking past because obviously, as a series goes with its ebbs and flows, you start to think this is the most important game. This is the most important game. But now, tomorrow, at least to me, feels really important because, truthfully, like you said, if the Dodgers lose tomorrow, that might be the first time in this entire playoff run that you hear me say, now the Dodgers are the team that is really just not favored anymore. Like you're looking at a little bit of an uphill climb there if you're the LA Dodgers, right? But I think if the Dodgers win tomorrow, then I still kind of feel like they'll win the World Series. Like truly tomorrow feels like if it is a best of 3 and tomorrow is game 1, then that game 1 feels like it may very well matter the most.
Yeah, tomorrow is super pivotal. I mean, I think if I know this is the Dodgers we're talking about, and we've talked all year long and all postseason long about how much of a powerhouse they can be. However, the old saying still stands. You do not want to have to go win both of the last 2 games not at your place, right? You want to go back to Toronto having to win one. If you're the Dodgers and you have to go back to Toronto and win two, I'm not saying you can't do it because you certainly can with a guy like Yamamoto on the mound, and then maybe you throw out Glasnow or Ohtani for game 7. It's possible, but you don't want to put yourself in that situation, right? If you're the Los Angeles Dodgers, you got one more at your place tomorrow night, and you better damn sure win it.
You really have to. I think you really have to, especially because understanding how badly Blue Jays fans want this, just know that no matter what, you are walking into a really tough environment. Final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here.
Final thoughts. This World Series continues to be great, even though we, both made our predictions prior to this series that the Dodgers were going to win. It's so fun to watch this night in and night out. I found myself tonight thinking about, like, damn, like, I don't want it to be next week. I don't want it to be over. This is great baseball that we're watching every single night. So, yeah, I'm excited to see game five. I think it's really probably the pivotal game in this series now that the Blue Jays have tied it up, like I said. And also, thank you all so much for staying up with us last night, watching last night's episode, continuing to be here. We really do appreciate it. As you know, last night we were up until like 5 in the morning putting that up. So thanks for watching and commenting and all of that. We do see all of it and we do appreciate it so much. And thanks for sharing in this joyous baseball time with us.
Yeah, additionally, we appreciate your appreciation. We read the comments, we see them frequently, and we love the fact that you guys say that to us because it gives us that motivation to keep on going. So thanks so much for that. Be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. It really helps us out when you do that, and we just hit 12,000 today, so thank you so much. We will see you back here when the next big thing happens. Have a great night.